Gotta keep my head in the zone. Should've had me now, but not for long. Cause some people love it, now I'm on. I just gotta get it on my own. Meanwhile, hey, go ahead and get your confidence back. Go ahead and get your confidence back. Go ahead and get your confidence back. Go ahead and get your...
At the beginning of 2019, David and I, we already knew immediately after having Anaya, we wanted another child. It was just, we were just trying to figure out timing. And so in 2019, in January 2019, we were like, you know what? We are going to like try, hoping obviously that we would get pregnant, like vigorously. Like we're gonna, you know,
and,
a lot.
And when we first decided that we actually seriously wanted to try to have a baby, I don't know about you, but me personally, I didn't think it would be difficult. I thought it would happen within a couple months.
Well, I knew because I know my body. I am irregular. So for my females out there that are irregular, you guys know, or if you're not knowledgeable, if you have a partner who is irregular, we do not ovulate as often as the typical female who gets her period and her cycle every month. Because when you go through that process, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but when you go through that process, anytime you menstruate, that means after there is, they ovulate, the woman ovulates. So I'm not gonna lie, I was actually a little nervous because, to be honest with you, us even having Anaya was like a miracle. Like, I know we weren't planning on it. If you watched our How We Met video, I'm sure we mentioned in that video that we actually got pregnant 4 months?
3 or 4
3 or
months
4
into
months.
our relationship.
Yeah, like almost 4 months into our relationship. So we were still getting to know each other, and then bam, like we get pregnant. And we're not making this video to advise anybody to do that, because I definitely would not advise that for my daughter, nor my future children. But I think David and I's scenario and situation was very unique to us. And that's why we're able to sit here today and still be together. So anyways, fast forwarding into us wanting this second child, we were like, we're really going to keep trying. We're going to really, we're going to be really active and stuff in the bedroom. And yeah, like we started in January. And in the beginning, it wasn't even like we were thinking about it. It was just like we said it and that we kind of just let it be. So months passed. Now it's September and we're like, we kind of mention it every here and there because one thing we weren't trying to do is put pressure on each other. Yeah. I think we can both agree about that, right? When it came to that. So we were just like, we always had in the back of our mind, I know God's going to give me another child. And if I know some people may or may not be religious, but I do believe in a higher being. And I feel it. I have dreams about it. I'm very like, the way I think is like, things don't just happen. They do happen for a reason. So yeah, so like we were trying, but nothing, like I wasn't getting pregnant. Yeah. I mean, we were having fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but
like, there was a bigger goal. And then, not to even backtrack you guys again, but like rewind back to like when you proposed. And I'm like, dang, like we're going to get married.
But we also want a kid.
But then we want a house, It was a lot. That was our dilemma, like for a while, like, damn, like, which one? And obviously, if you're really religious, obviously people would probably say, obviously get married first, then get the house, then get the kid. I'm sure that's what a lot of people in the traditional sense would do. But David and I were not very conventional by any means necessary. So, I mean, we already have a
like we said, we already have a child.
Yeah.
So it's too late for that.
Yeah, so I mean, and I know we could start now, but you know, our focus was really just having another child, just so they could be close in age, just to be honest. It really wasn't even for us, it was really just for Anaya having a sibling, regardless of a boy or girl. And so, yeah, now we'll fast forward it back again to September. And I went to go see a doctor because I'm like, babe, like I'm starting to feel away now, and
we might need some extra
I might
help.
Be overthinking it, but yeah, like we might need help. So I went to see a doctor. They referred me to a specialist, which was basically an infertility doctor, and saw the doctor, and we basically came up with a schedule, I guess you could say. Based off of the information, he was like, you know, you're still young, and I am, you know, I am young, but for the women out there that are trying, it's really hard to hear that because you really want a child, you know? I definitely get where they're coming from because they're saying like there's still time, you know? But I want the baby now, and you know,
and like we said, we want Anaya to have a sibling that's close in age. So we didn't want to wait too long.
Exactly. So anyways, we came up with a plan, and the plan, I actually ended up throwing the paper away, but basically the plan was, he didn't want to start shooting me up, which I'm so happy that he didn't, because I'm not really, I want to be pregnant, but I really want to try as best as possible with my body first before I start injecting myself with things. So he was like, well, you know, with you being irregular, which is the big main concern, he's like, you know, that means you don't ovulate. So let's actually just see about getting you on track, getting your body back on track. So he's like, I'm going to put you on birth control. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of birth control. I have a lot of friends who are very knowledgeable about birth control and how it's really actually bad for your body. It's, you know, I just didn't want to do it, but because I was all these negative side effects that I've felt from doing it before. But I'm like, you know what? I'll do it for 1 month. You know, he's like, okay, that's all you need. Just do it for 1 month, and then let's just see. So we did that, and then basically the next step was, because I ended up doing the Nuva ring, which is like a little ring, circular ring. You can look it up, but I actually really enjoyed that. Like, to be honest, if you're not really good at taking pills, which I'm not, and taking it the same time every day,
just put it up inside you.
Yeah, and it just stays there. And I know a lot of people might have questions about it. Please feel free to leave us questions down below. There is nothing, I'm definitely, like David said in the beginning, you know, we made this platform in order for us to be transparent with you guys and to relate and engage with you guys. So if you guys honestly have any questions about it, or if you have been tried the Nuva ring before, let me know, because I am interested on your feedback and what your opinions were about that. But anyways, so yeah, I did that. I actually did like it because I didn't have to do something every day. And the ring just came out. The last day, just took it out. And then I think a day or two later, I did start my period as he predicted. And then basically he kind of gave me a set schedule. He was like, okay, you'll be bleeding for this amount of days. And then once you're done, I want you to come in and do blood work because I want to see if you ovulated. So, like I said, took the Nuva ring out. Everything was fine. Everything was on track. Every other day, he wanted us to have sex. So I even tried to, and I know when it comes to having a child, especially if you're really, really trying, you really have to be really strategic and specific on things you do. Like, you have to eat healthy. You have to, no smoking, no drinking, down to even for the men, like they can't really take hot showers. A lot of stuff, a lot of factors, but health is very important. So we were really focusing a lot on that week. And so, we had sex. I think he kind of we had like sex like every other day or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a set schedule.
Yeah, for the week. And this is like a week before my birthday. All this is going on because my birthday is actually Halloween. So all this is happening, and then I kind of forget about it. Like, he's like, go, all right, you know, we had sex, and then, I did the blood work, and I hadn't heard from them. But I'm like, you know what? I have so much on my plate. I was in the process of planning a wedding, which I still am.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to coronavirus. And, yeah, like there was a lot on my plate, so I didn't even think to call them back. But I would say maybe 3 days before, because we were last year we went to Vegas for my birthday. If you guys have not seen the video, we actually filmed it because there were a few venues we were looking at in Vegas.
Yep.
So it was kind of Vegas was not only just a birthday gift for myself, but it was also we were looking for shopping for wedding venues. So if you guys are looking to plan a wedding or, do something up under that spectrum, we have the video, trying to plan a wedding under $6,000.
Yeah, we got a couple videos.
Yeah,
we got 2 videos for that.
So, and stay tuned because we still will keep you guys updated with that. But, so I'm thinking I'm more focused on my birthday. And then 3 days before that, I get a call and it says the doctor's like, okay, you didn't ovulate. And so we're going to have to see the next step, which is obviously medicating me. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember. It was Conazole. I can't I'm not even going to try to remember it. I'm not even going to sit here and try to remember it. But basically it was this medication. It was estrogen or it was something that's in the female body, but they're giving you more. Of it. Yeah,
to the point where you can possibly have
produce
twins.
It. It's
you're really fertile.
It's right. It's a high probability you'll end up with twins. And I'm like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm trying to plan a wedding. I don't want to have to think about a baby and all that right now, and then, inject. I just wasn't trying to do that. So we left. We came back, and literally. The day we came back is what we left on, a Thursday or Friday.
We left on a Thursday. Came back Sunday.
Sunday afternoon. And in the car, I'm fine. But maybe 45 minutes to an hour out from our house, I'm starting to feel a little nauseous. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, and I'm not telling David though, because I'm thinking man, maybe I just have to go to the bathroom or something. And note, this whole time in October, he had me taking, test I had to
lab work.
Well, lab work as well, but I had to take at home ovulation test, pregnancy test. So I'd already stocked up since then. And so I come home and I'm and by the time we pulled up, I was like, oh my God, in my head. I'm not telling David any of this. I'm not telling, because I'm like, what is this? What? I felt like I need to throw up. I felt hot. My stomach, it was just weird. And so we get upstairs and I'm like, let me entertain myself. I'm just going to entertain myself. Let me go ahead and take a pregnancy test because this is kind of weird. And I'm not going to lie, the sex that weekend was on a next level, but that's another story.
Y'all don't need to know that.
Yeah. And so, come home, take a pregnancy test, positive. And I'm like, okay. That's random. They said the doctor, said I didn't ovulate. How am I pregnant? You know? So immediately I tell 3 of my closest friends and David's sister also. And I'm like, because I couldn't keep it to myself. The next day I wake up and I'm
she didn't tell me immediately. I didn't know at this point.
He still didn't know. So I'm texting because I'm trying to ask, it's been a while. My daughter will be 4 this year. So I'm like, damn, do I see a doctor immediately? Should I wait a little bit, just to make sure I'm really pregnant? And, everyone was like, if it says positive, more than likely you're positive. So that morning and this, you got to think this is literally just the next day. So we came back Sunday. So on Monday, I'm thinking all this is going through my mind. Right. And I'm like, all right, so that means we need to cancel the wedding. We need to.
You gotta change everything.
We were planning on moving to Vegas. So we were like, we gotta cancel the move to Vegas. Everything really had to be on hold for this pregnancy. And I didn't want us to jump the gun too soon. So that next day, like I said, on Monday, David's sister comes over and she's like, oh, like, you know, I want to come with you to pick up Anaya. So as we're in the car, we're talking, and I couldn't, like, it was eating me. Like, I was like, I have to tell someone because I need to know how to move forward with this. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk to David's sister about it. So we were talking about it, and she's like, girl, go get a pregnancy test. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I was like, I took one. And she was like, we'll get another one just so we know, like, it's real, you know? So I was like, okay, yeah.
She's like, get a good one.
Yeah, she's like, get a good one, because I didn't state all the pregnancy tests, because those tests can get expensive. If you guys are not aware, you can purchase ovulation tests and pregnancy tests at the 99-cent store. Mm-hmm. They are the same exact test. Thing. Like, I know before I was super skeptical, but they are literally...
The only difference is the expensive ones will actually say pregnant.
Yeah, like, if you wanted to say the words, then of course go ahead and spend the $25 or so, you know, for those tests. Mm-hmm. But they do the same exact thing, honey. And so, yeah, she's like, She's like, get you, like, a good quality. And I was telling her around that time I really didn't have money for a pregnancy test like that, you know? So she's like, I'll pay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, if she's willing to pay, then I'll do it. So we pick up my daughter. We run over to CVS. She's with me. We do it all there because she's like, She's like, we're doing this here. So I walk out and I have like a napkin over the pregnancy test because like I'm really nervous on what the pregnancy test is going to say. Mm-hmm. Even though half of me knows that it could have been a false pregnancy test. I didn't think I could read that, you know, because half of me was excited. Like, oh my gosh, like to be honest, I still don't believe that I was pregnant. Like, it still doesn't seem believable. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have to wait the 5 minutes, and it just seemed like forever. And I have the test here. I was going to show you guys, but yeah, like, she looks at it and she goes, girl, no, you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. Like, you are pregnant. And I was so happy, you know, like all of us, we were all three of us were so happy inside CVS. And she was like, okay, now you need to tell David, because now, like, you guys are planning on moving to Vegas and you guys might need to want to reconsider, you know, because, you know, that's going to be a lot, you know. You guys will be away from family and stuff like that, which will be really important to be around right now with you being pregnant. So we ended up making another stop because I'm so extra. So I was like, I have to have it in a cute little box. Like, it has to be in a box. Like, I don't want to just tell him, like, you know how little videos are. So I'm like, oh my gosh. We stopped, we got the box, and then we came home. And, yeah, like, we called David in, and we'll insert a little clip. Yeah, because I work from home, so I was actually working when they got here. Yeah. So David was already here. He had no clue, guys, that we did all this already in the morning. You know, we've been talking a lot recently about, like, things that you said you wanted. Like the wink, wink.
What the hell is going on? Wait.
Like the wink, wink.
What? Is that why you got dressed right now?
Yeah, because I wanted, because I feel like I don't give you random gifts. Okay. You know, I don't either. Right. Sweet. Yeah. So you were talking about how you and Rob.
No, you didn't.
Hold on. I got you.
I know what you got me.
Well, hold on.
You said the secret word.
Hold on.
You said Rob.
What she get you, baby?
I ain't gonna ruin it. I know she got me though. She said Rob, so I know what it is, dog. Babe.
Yeah, babe.
What? You are tight.
So.
Where you get money
But
from?
hold on. First off, just take it out because it is in a different form. I didn't actually get it. So the gift isn't here yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's in the bag.
Babe.
So just read the letter first.
When did you have time to do this, first off?
Just read the letter first.
And what is wrong with the time? Didn't your birthday just pass?
Yes, but this is something random that we wanted to get you as a family.
We love.
Yes.
It says
Mama,
love you.
let it, Mama.
It says we love you so much and appreciate everything you do for us.
It's
Hope you love your gift
the daddy.
and can't wait to start our future.
Yeah. Because you know this game is going to be
Separate
a part
that.
of our
So
future.
please stop.
And every day after
Okay,
that,
steps.
I take it.
I can have
Take
two.
this, I
A
can
two.
get it. When did you get this? When did you get this box?
But Rabbit and Trump
And they only
is
have
up.
Christmas stuff, so.
Rabbit and one is in
Wait.
these two. A troll
Babe,
tattoo.
swear to God. Oh my God.
I took it last night.
Babe,
No,
you
you
got
was
me.
not-
got Santa time.
No
No,
way.
you're
And
Are you
your sister
kidding me?
paid for me to get even like a
11
real
is
one.
triangles.
And as you can see,
No way, babe.
I made a doctor's
Yes,
appointment this
Alexa.
morning. They said I will be having my first appointment in the first week of December.
Babe, stop playing.
Now, if you remember, when we
Yes.
found out about Anaya, it was around this same time, like
Your boy is about to
mid-November.
cry right now. I'm not lying to you.
Look at mommy
Look,
something
we're gonna have
dance
two
and
children
look
with the
at
same
boy
birthday.
Bible.
And that's like, I'm
Your
it's not gonna be
husband,
too close.
We all gonna be in
We
jail.
got all gonna be July
Babe,
birthday.
are you kidding me? What?
This?
And I'm feeling kind of nauseous, like really
You
lightheaded.
know, it timed like perfectly.
Yeah.
And we did.
But what about like the whole wedding stuff? We were all really happy, you know.
Heck
At that point,
I was excited.
yeah,
You gotta think we've been trying for like seriously for almost a year.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and we didn't like at that point we didn't think we had high chances of getting pregnant. You know, we
definitely,
kind of put it on hold. So
Definitely.
when I found out, I was super excited.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, you know, we were like, okay, what's the next step? Like, are we putting Vegas on hold? Like, what's, you know, are we still getting married? Like, what's going on? Because we already had so much on our plate, and we decided to not obviously move to Vegas.
Mhm.
So that was one of the big things that we decided not to do. Along with we basically planned to put the wedding on hold.
Yeah, because we were planning on getting married in Vegas. At that point, we were sold on a venue in Vegas, and
An apartment in Vegas.
apartment and the wedding venue. At that
yeah.
point, remember? And
Yeah.
then once we found that out, we kind of pushed it back because you don't want to be
Yeah.
pregnant at your wedding.
Right. And that was my whole thing. I told David, like, if I get pregnant, I do not want to be pregnant at my wedding. Like, I really want to enjoy my wedding. Like, I want to drink. I want to turn up, you
Mhm.
know. I want our honeymoon. I
yeah.
want us to be able to, you know, just do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so we put all that on hold because we were excited.
Mhm.
So I made my appointment with my doctor around like mid-November
Mhm.
because my doctor, I think they were shocked that I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, okay, let's wait to schedule this first appointment because, you know, we want to make sure you're far along so the next time we see you, we can kind of check them to see and monitor the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the first doctor's appointment. It was really just more of like a sit down for the first appointment. I think did you even come with me?
First appointment, I don't think I came very first.
First, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like the
I think
second
the
or
second one,
third.
yeah.
Yeah. He came with me more towards the later ones that ended up happening. But
Because I wanted to go to the ones where she gets an ultrasound. That was the ones that I really wanted to go to.
right.
Yeah.
So so we you know, first appointment was fine. Like I said, it was just more like just questions and stuff about like my history.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second appointment, they were like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do an ultrasound. And that's the appointment
That's
that
the
you
one I
came
went
with
to.
me.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm really nervous, guys. Like, I'm really, really nervous. Because, like I said, even though I'm pregnant, I've taken multiple pregnancy tests, I'm still throughout this, like, every week, I'm still taking pregnancy tests at home, making sure I'm still pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, I think I kind of, not obsessed over it, but I kept thinking, like, is this real? Is this real? Instead of just accepting it. And so when we went and the doctor ended up doing the ultrasound, he goes, okay, like, he sees the sac,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't see a baby. I didn't know what to think about it. Like, I'm like, okay, like
you didn't know if it was normal, at that point. Like, we didn't know. Like, after he said that, I feel like we were a lot more worried at that point, because we didn't know if this was normal. With our first pregnancy, it was like that initial ultrasound, you can see something, and
not even just that. Like, we heard like the heartbeat and everything, but I think I was more further along.
Yeah, I think the timeline that they were on, we were a little bit earlier than that.
Yes, exactly. So, and that's basically, to sum it up, that's what the doctor ended up saying. He was like, to be honest with you, you're probably just still early in your pregnancy, which is normal. He was like, sometimes it does actually take a few weeks. That's why they don't just suggest, even though you get a pregnancy test, you're not going to just go and see the doctor the next day and get an ultrasound, because the baby it takes a few weeks. Grow. Yeah, for the baby to grow. So they kind of suggest anywhere from probably like, I think 6 to 8 weeks, I believe, to like be able to at least see like a little dot or something like that, like a little embryo. And so that made me nervous. Like David mentioned, we were both nervous. And to be honest, after that, it just seemed like everything just spiraled left. I had symptoms of pregnancy, and my symptoms are very distinct. That's how I know I'm pregnant. I'm not sure if a lot of you females have experienced this during your pregnancies, but when I get pregnant, I have I overproduce saliva, like
legit. She can't even talk.
Crazy. There's a name, there is a term for it, but I don't know like the actual term. But you can actually look it up. There is a term where women, they like, I just, it's so much, like I have to keep spitting. So I remember specifically when we got the room at Pachanga, and the whole, like, the people were like, we're having sex next door and stuff like that, that I was pregnant.
That was that time, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When we had the pasta, the really good.
The first time.
Yeah. And so yeah, like it just seemed like after that appointment, things just went crazy. Like, it seemed like, I think literally every week after that until Christmas, like / New Year's, that something happened. Like, it went from them not seeing an embryo to me spotting again. And I know spotting it can be normal during a pregnancy. I'm very aware of that because I know when the egg implants inside the walls, I know something about like the implantation. I know that they have implantation bleeding. So I was thinking it was that, but then I would bleed and then I would stop, and then I would bleed and then I was like,
and then your doctor's appointments at that time were spaced out so much. She wasn't being seen like regularly.
No.
So we were even more worried. No. It's like, dang, what do we do?
I think I saw my doctor twice for the pregnancy. Everything else after that, I went to the ER room. And I went to the ER room a lot. Yeah, probably like a good 3.
At least 3.
At least 3 times. In the month of December. And so, yeah, basically, I mean, I started bleeding, and I knew, but I didn't want to believe it, because now I just accepted. I just accepted the fact that I'm pregnant. And now I already have to be okay with not being pregnant anymore. And, I really don't know how to describe it to anyone, but going through this whole situation was really surreal for me. Like I said, even to this day, it's hard for me to honestly believe that I was pregnant, that that I miscarried. It honestly isn't easy for, and I'm just speaking from my point of view, because I'm going to let David speak about how he felt. But I mean, once I went to that last ER, when I had to go to the ER because I was bleeding like excessively to the point where I was in pain, and the only way I wouldn't like literally to the point where I had to like take baths like a few times a day.
Yeah, constantly.
Just to sit in the tub. I wasn't aware that I was
Going through a miscarriage.
Going through a miscarriage.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
for me, because I've never experienced it, right? I thought miscarriage is like something that's quick, you know, but it was a process.
It was a process. It was
Yeah.
almost like a couple of weeks.
It was a couple of weeks.
It was almost a month.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even well, mine's was. I know every person's experience might be different,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was.
But even like before that, I didn't accept the fact that you had a miscarriage. I still wanted to see like ultrasounds and stuff like that, because I still thought we were just too early, you know, and that's why they weren't able to pick up a baby on an ultrasound. Yeah. But when it really hit me is when they were having you do the HCG levels test, and your levels were going down. For anybody that doesn't know what it is, those levels are pretty much a sign that, like, if they're
pregnancy
growing,
levels.
Yeah, if they're rising, that means you're pregnant, pretty much. And if they're going down, something's wrong.
Yes, exactly.
And hers were going down, so.
And you can't deny blood work. That's why a lot of they had me going back, taking tests again, and it was just a lot. Like I was at the ER. My last time I went was like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and I remember that. Yeah. And just sitting there because I was by myself because David had to be at work.
I had to go into work that day.
You had to go into work you sure did.
You know what was crazy? Did. So I went to work that day, still not accepting that you had a miscarriage, right? And I actually told a couple people at work that we're expecting a baby.
Yeah.
And that was the same day that you found out and called me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she called me, like, it just hit me really hard. And I think what made it hard is because I literally just told people, you know, that we were having a baby. And we were so excited. We changed our plans. You know what I'm saying?
And you guys have to remember, throughout this whole process, this month and a half, if you want to include the time of me doing the birth control, 3 months. Well, let's just only include the pregnancy when I found. It's like the month and a half, we still hadn't told our family. Only my 3 closest friends knew. Not all my friends, just 3 of them. So, and then David's sister,
and my cousin,
and then his cousin and his coworkers,
and then the coworkers that day.
So there was still a significant amount of people that even to this day might not even know. They might be also finding out through this video.
Okay,
you know what I mean? That we miscarried. But yeah, like yeah, like it's hard, you guys, and you know, like I'll keep saying this, you know, we want to engage with you guys. I want to connect with women that have also been in situations like myself, because we really need each other. Like, life can honestly be crazy. I also in the past had depression. I luckily have, I don't want to say overcome it, but I know how to deal with it to not allow it to affect my life. But yeah, like there's a lot of things about me that it might just seem like, if you watch a lot of our videos, if you watch us from T Brandistry, you see one side of us, you know, happy, everything's funny, fun and games and stuff, jokes. But this is real life, and this is exactly why we wanted to create and start this the Dawn Empire, because we want to be able to talk. And even if I can honestly talk and engage with one other female out there and help them out, letting them know, like, you're not alone. If you have any questions, you know, we can help each other. And I told David that, like, once I was kind of not getting over, but kind of accepting the fact that I miscarried, I told him, I was like, we need to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I need to talk about this on camera, because to a certain extent, sometimes this might seem weird, but it's kind of therapeutic. It's kind of therapeutic to sit here and talk.
It's been a lingering thing for 3 months. We've been pushing it off, and I feel like by us finally filming it, we can move on and focus on the future.
Yeah, start the next chapter, because I mean, David and I are not stopping. You know, I went to go see my doctor. I ended up seeing a different doctor because my doctor was out of town that week. But I had like a 1 month follow up with an amazing doctor.
Yeah, she was cool. I like her.
And she was like, you guys just keep trying. You know, like she really made me feel really positive and good spirits about the whole situation. So, and like I mentioned in the beginning, like I'm not one to not think that things don't happen for a reason. Maybe just the timing wasn't the best for David and I. Maybe, you know, God felt like there was just way more he wanted us to do before he gifted us with another life. And, you know, I'm okay with that. We've accepted it. And, you know, present day, you know, fast forward to where we are now, we are currently trying. I've even went as far as I've recently, just to be honest with you guys, literally just purchased a ovulation app on my phone that I'm like paying for. Like it's like a monthly thing, and it's like $5 or $6 or something like that. But it's supposed to help women like track their ovulation and stuff like that. And supposedly, based off of this app, like I'm like I'm ovulating today. You're really like fertile. Within like today, like as in right now.
Today is the day.
Today is what? Today is the 24th. March 24th, 2020, which is a Tuesday. So just pray for us, guys. And I'm going to pray for, you know, all the women out there that are struggling right now and just feel discouraged. Don't let having a baby, you know, affect your relationship with your partner.
And that's one thing that I'm happy it didn't, you know? Because it could have. You could have, you know, blocked me away. Back, you know what I'm saying? And like we stayed strong together through it, and I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Right now we are stronger than ever.
Definitely. You know, like that's real. Like even if your partner seems okay, make sure that you, as well as your partner, even like men, like David is stating, like, I feel like a lot of times as women, we don't realize men have feelings about this situation too. It wasn't just you that was in the situation.
Yeah. Even though I didn't go through it, I still felt it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will say to the guys out there that you may be with somebody that recently went through a miscarriage, when they initially tell you, even if you don't have anything to say, be there for them and say what's on your mind. If you are speechless, let her know that.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I did do.
Yeah.
I said, I'm sorry if I'm quiet right now. This is just really
when I told David, he didn't say, like, we probably sat on the phone maybe for like, I'm not even lying, like a good 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Silent.
Yeah. Just let her know what's going on in your head, because it was a lot of stuff going on in my head. I just didn't know what to say.
Right.
And I let her know, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, and like exactly like David said, like when it comes to men, I know men are not used to voicing, you know, their feelings on things a lot. But even like David said, even if it's just someone you can vent to or a shoulder to lean on, you know, like David was so supportive, and I am so fortunate to have a partner like David in my life, because if I would have had to gone through that by myself, I just don't know. I just don't know. I honestly do not know. So yeah, just make sure you guys are communicating. Everyone's time is different. You got to remember their grief time is different. So remember that when it comes to the men and women. Sometimes women might be able to get over it quicker than men vice versa. Just be there for each other. Because bringing life into this world is a gift. And unfortunately, not everyone is able to do it. But I feel like with us talking about this and us kind of expressing how we kind of overcame something in our life that was a really big thing for us, hopefully we just help out the next person. And so like we stated, we're trying currently.
Hopefully we have an update video for you guys in the next month or two.
So I did end up writing David a letter that I still have. It says love you. And on the inside it has hearts, and it says, and this is just homemade, you know, just something quick that I just did around the house just to show it to David. And I said, we love you so much and appreciate everything you do for us. Hope you love your gift and can't wait to start our future.
Yeah, I was so surprised, man.
And these are the pregnancy tests. Obviously, the ones, because I got a few first response there, like they no longer say pregnant anymore because it's been a while. But yeah, these are like my pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
That I have. And like, I mean, I'm so extra. Like, I got little like, so he understood. Because, you know, sometimes guys are like, what is this?
What is this?
Just little like strollers and stuff. That I just put in.
I thought that was really cute. You could have just told me, you know, but
I know.
You went above.
It smells like pee now.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first test I took. This is a test actually that I was like when I came home from Vegas, and I was like, what? This is the 99 cent store one. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, hopefully we'll come back with you guys with, you know, even more exciting news.
Yeah.
Like I said, this situation has brought David and I closer. Please don't allow situations to affect your relationships in a negative way. Allow this to be an opportunity to come closer.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you know, thank you guys for sitting here watching us kind of talk about our experience. And hopefully, like I said, if you guys don't want to leave any comments down below, but you want to hit me up personally, I will have David put my personal Instagram page down below, which I'll just say it. It's at Tiana Light. And yeah, like I said, females and men, if you like, you're kind of lost and you just didn't know, like, I don't mind. I'm sure if you want to hit David up, you know, he's also here for you. But I want to engage with you guys, and I want to talk to you guys about, you know, your situations and things that have happened to you guys, and just kind of create a community, especially within the Black culture. I feel like this is really needed. So yeah, again, hopefully we can come back with you guys.
Yeah, hopefully
better news. Maybe I have a little bump, a little baby in there. I really want a boy, guys. I really, really want a boy. Like, we want to look back at this video and be like, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be dope.
Wow.
I can't wait for that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully you guys got some insight on what's going on with us. Hopefully we helped somebody out there in the world.
Definitely.
And yeah, stay tuned for more videos about our life. You know, we're going to keep it real in here.
It's crazy, guys. We're still planning the wedding. Like I said, I'm still trying to get pregnant. All this, we're still trying to get a house. You know,
it's gonna happen.
And it is. We're manifesting it, and so can you.
All right. Until the next video. Deuces.